Cabinet Secretariat, members of the press, let me once again welcome you to today's post-cabinet media briefing. To take us through, as always, is our Minister, Honorable Minister of Information, Communication and Cross-Cutting Services, Honorable Mswere, who will chair this session. Honorable Mswere.
Thank you, Chief Secretary Dr. Rushwaya. Members of the Fourth Estate Cabinet considered and adopted a multi-sectorial food and nutrition strategy for Zimbabwe for the year 2023 to 2025, which was presented by the Honorable Vice President Dr. CGDN Chiwenga as chairperson of the Cabinet Committee on Food Security and Nutrition. The nation is being informed that the multi-sectorial food and nutrition security strategy for Zimbabwe seeks to achieve accelerated, high, inclusive, broad-based and sustainable economic growth, as well as socio-economic transformation and development. It also aims to promote and ensure adequate food and nutrition security for all the people in Zimbabwe. The strategy is a culmination of wide and extensive consultations with stakeholders, inclusive of citizens and cooperative partners. The nation is being advised that the multi-sectorial food and nutrition security strategy for Zimbabwe will adopt a multi-sectorial approach to ensure partnerships and coordination among the following key sectors: agriculture, education, health and childcare, local government, social services, and women and gender. The coordination mechanism will assist in the development, implementation, and monitoring of comprehensive sector strategies while creating an enabling environment for the realization of food and nutrition security at individual, household, community, and national level. The strategy will operationalize the following national development strategy key result areas: policy analysis and advocacy, agriculture and food security, social protection, food safety, quality and standards, nutrition security, food and nutrition information, as well as enhancing and strengthening capacities for food and nutrition security. The nation is further being informed that the strategy will be implemented through a multi-sectorial decentralized structures framework in order to attain the set objectives. Local development councils will play a critical role in coordinating implementation of the strategy, while the lead sectors will be fully accountable for the attainment of the set goals. The food and nutrition security strategy for Zimbabwe is envisaged to achieve the following impacts: the promotion of closer coordination and alignment of actions in the field and more efficient use of resources, strengthening collaborative action among government sectors, efficient monitoring of the implementation of food and nutrition strategies, and the effective reduction of food insecurity and malnutrition. The strategy is designed to build food and nutrition resilience for communities, culminating in improved livelihoods, visible development, productivity, and economic growth as the country marches towards attainment of Vision 2030. Cabinet also received a report on drugs and substance abuse as presented by the chairperson of the Interministerial Committee, who is also the Minister of Defense, Honorable OCZ Muchinguri Kashiri. The nation is being informed that the government continues to heighten the fight against illegal inflows of illicit drugs, substances, and alcohol throughout the country. A total of 486 offenders were arrested. Out of the 486 offenders, 20 were suppliers who were referred to court, whilst 466 were drug users who paid deposit fines. Raids were conducted during the period under review and drugs were confiscated. Cabinet wishes to inform the nation that the Liquor Licensing Board conducted alcohol outlets compliance inspections in April. A total of 85 premises were inspected, and of these, 15 were operating without licenses. The unlicensed cases were referred to the Police Licensing Inspectorate Department for further management. The nation is advised that the Ministry of Health and Child Care and the Zimbabwe Republic Police and the Liquor Licensing Board are working together on investigations, clearance, non-clearance, classification, the banning and licensing of new alcoholic drinks in the market, including the kombucha drink. Cabinet advises that the primary, higher and tertiary education institutions carried out drug and substance abuse awareness campaigns to students. Weekly awareness campaigns continue to be a priority, and the collective campaigns in the primary education level has reached 410,473. As a behavior change intervention, the education sector continues to facilitate students to interact with offenders in a bid to educate them on the dangers of abusing drugs and substances and the effects thereof. Community outreaches are being carried out through information, education, and communication materials. Cabinet advises that the Ministry of Women Affairs, Community, Small and Medium Enterprises Development had reached a total of 2,729 people with drug and substance abuse information through its community empowerment programs and projects meetings during the week. And in a bid to reduce drug abuse, the Ministry of Youth Empowerment, Development and Vocational Training had submitted 188 projects to the Empower Bank for funding. Short-term loans have been introduced and clients are now accessing this facility without much collateral security. Sports galas are now effective way in terms of ensuring that youth are given an opportunity in terms of creating an enabling environment and platform to raise awareness on drug and substance abuse. Furthermore, most churches have mainstreamed drug and substance abuse in their religious activities. Cabinet further wishes to inform the nation that 279 patients received drug rehabilitation services inclusive of treatment, medication, and rehabilitation services to all referred and walk-in clients. A total number of 53 clinical health personnel and 57 community-based health workers, school health coordinators, peer support champions in schools and universities were trained on mental health, recovery, and community inclusion. Cabinet considered and approved the priority projects for the third 100-day cycle of the year 2023 and the reporting schedule as presented by the Minister of State for Presidential Affairs in the Office of the President and Cabinet, Honorable L. Matuke. The nation is being informed that 158 projects were submitted by 23 ministries, including rural infrastructure development agents, for implementation during the third 100-day cycle, running from the 11th of September to the 19th of December 2023. A total of 124 projects are ongoing, while 34 are new. All the projects are citizen-centric with high impact and low risk, and were budgeted for in order to facilitate rapid implementation. The infrastructure and utilities and the devolution and decentralization thematic areas provide the highest number of projects and play a crucial role in the country's socio-economic development in terms of trajectory. The disaggregation of projects according to provinces as follows: Harare Metropolitan Province 32, Matabeleland North 23, Mashonaland West Province 22, Manicaland Province 25, Midlands Province 14, Mashonaland Central Province 13, Mashingo Province 25, Mashonaland East Province 16, Matabeleland South Province 22, Bulawayo Metropolitan Province 8, which gives us a total of 200 projects. The nation is also advised that the projects are replicated in more than one province. The Minister of Health and Childcare, Honorable Dr. Douglas Mobishwa, updated Cabinet on the cholera outbreak response. Cabinet advises that as at the 21st of October 2023, Zimbabwe's cumulative suspected cholera cases were 5,338 with 5,090 recoveries. Manicaland Province and Harare Metropolitan Province contributed the highest number of cholera cases in Zimbabwe, having reported 2,524 and 1,654 cumulative cholera cases, respectively, by the 21st of October 2023. Cabinet advises that the poor sanitation and low safe water coverage has driven the cholera outbreak, especially in the Harare Metropolitan Province. 12 boreholes were drilled in Boera through a borehole drilling project under the Ministry of Health and Childcare. Cabinet reports that the health education on cholera prevention and control measures, including hygiene promotion, is ongoing in all provinces. Health educators in affected communities have been trained in order to facilitate surveillance and risk communication. Door-to-door cholera campaigns are being made in the affected province. Cabinet further reiterated additional measures as follows: that all gatherings in cholera-affected areas be supervised in order to ensure adequate clean water and sanitation provision, that all burials be supervised regardless of the cause of death in all cholera-affected areas in order to reduce transmission, that all public health measures be enforced in all communities reporting cholera cases. The Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Trade, Honorable Dr. Frederick Shava, briefed Cabinet on the Africa-Nordic Foreign Affairs Ministers meeting held in Algeria from the 16th to the 18th of October 2023. The nation is being informed that the ministerial meeting focused on themes relevant to cooperation and partnerships involving Africa and Nordic countries, on skills development and equitable quality education. The ministers agreed to strengthen Africa-Nordic cooperation in the fields of education. In addition, most African countries preferred trade and investment over aid and requested that their Nordic counterparts to adjust their policies on Africa accordingly. The ministers called for the urgent reform of the United Nations Security Council, while the Nordic countries unanimously agreed to support Africa in its quest for permanent United Nations Security Council membership. Cabinet considered the report on the 4th Turkey Africa Business and the Economic Forum held in Istanbul, Turkey, from the 12th to the 13th of October, as presented by the Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Trade, Honorable Dr. Frederick Shaba. The nation is informed that the theme of the 4th Turkey Africa Business and Economic Forum was addressing challenges, unlocking opportunities, building stronger Turkey-Africa economic partnerships, and the forum also was divided into the following segments: the ministerial section, the 9 panel sessions, the business-to-business sessions, the government-to-government sessions, and the closing session. In the meetings, Zimbabwe had highlighted the need to raise the current trade between the two countries from the US $38 million to US $100 million. Zimbabwe's desire to tap into Turkish expertise in areas that include agro-processing, textiles, health, energy, and infrastructure development was also emphasized. The Turkish representative had indicated the need for Turkish airlines to fly into Zimbabwe by connecting through existing routes, which include Dar es Salaam, Lusaka, and Johannesburg, Maputo. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister, for that presentation. I now call upon members of the press to pose questions to the ministers. As usual, we'll start with our first 3 persons in the first round. Anyone to start the process? If there are no questions, can we move on to the next item, which is tomorrow's instructions. Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Chief Secretary. Thank you, members of the 4th Estate. As you may be aware that tomorrow, 25 October, is a day set aside to tell the whole world about the illegal sanctions that were imposed by the Western countries on Zimbabwe. Our ministry, the Ministry of Information, Publicity and Broadcasting Services, has been mandated to build the national image and, among other issues, to tell the story of how the illegal sanctions are impacting negatively on our economy and the livelihoods of our people. Sanctions have had a negative impact on our economy, but thanks to the visionary leadership of His Excellency President Idi Mnangagwa, who has introduced transformative economic initiatives that have positively impacted on all our economic sectors, including in mining, agriculture, manufacturing, medical, tourism, and technological developments. Zimbabwe has been denied access to international lines of credit, and also, given those difficulties, our government, led by His Excellency President Idi Mnangagwa, then developed inward-looking policies, and the government was also able to entirely fund the fight against the COVID-19 pandemic. And in reversing the menacing impact of sanctions as a tool to undermine our national democracy and economic sovereignty, His Excellency President Dr. Idi Mnangagwa initiated the engagement and re-engagement policy. And in doing so, the President repositioned Zimbabwe's diplomatic outlook for accelerated investment inflows to our country. Industrial growth has overtaken the stagnation that the economic sector had enjoyed prior to the birth of the Second Republic. Therefore, I would like to urge you all as members of the Fourth Estate to take advantage of government's initiative to free the airwaves so as to enable the public to freely call for the unconditional removal of sanctions. The media must be proactive in exposing how the illegal sanctions play a massive sabotage to our national interests. Tomorrow's Anti-Sanctions Day commemorations will be highlighted by 3 major events. The Anti-Sanctions March, where we're inviting all Zimbabweans, all civil servants, and all parastatals to join the Anti-Sanctions March in Harare tomorrow. Zimbabweans will assemble at Munumutapa building between 4th and 7th Nyoma Street along Samora Machel Avenue. They will march along Samora Machel Avenue towards Julius Nyerere Way. They will turn into Julius Nyerere Way and turn into Nelson Mandela Avenue, heading to Africa Unity Square. Zimbabweans will also gather in Mutoko at Gohori Resort, where the 2nd edition of the SADC Anti-Sanctions Solidarity Summit will be held from 8 a.m. until the end of the day. A program of action has been lined up. Zimbabweans will also gather in Dotito for an anti-sanctions gala, which will see a cocktail of artists entertaining the people in the commemoration of the Anti-Sanctions Day. All Zimbabweans are therefore invited to join the rest of the nation in commemorating the Anti-Sanctions Day. This year's commemorations focuses on the appreciation of harnessing the youth, the resilience of the youth against the sanctions. The focus is also on harnessing the youth in the fight against the illegal sanctions. The people of Zimbabwe, and in particular the youth, have a responsibility to defeat the illegal sanctions. For the second Chimurenga colonization was defeated by the youth who fought against the white minority oppressors. The youth should also be in a position to sharpen the national strategic thinking, harnessing all domestic and international resources, including the intellectual capability to defeat the illegal sanctions. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister, for that update on the anti-sanction day. I don't know if there are any questions on this. Yes.
Thank you, Minister. Thank you, Joseph. My name is Bernard Go from the Newsworks. My question is relating to the last part of the statement on sanctions. Just after the recent elections, there was a lot of had these statements from the Western capitals and the United States. So I just want to understand, in light of this, how do you seek to put the re-engagement process back on course, given some of the statements that were issued by Western capitals?
Any other question? Okay, Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Bernard. I think we will not be in a position to comment much about what other Western capitals would say. But we are calling on the unconditional removal of legal sanctions, precisely. But we are also guided by the National Development Strategy in terms of engagement and re-engagement, and with a clear-cut policy in that we are a friend to all and an enemy to none. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We've come to the end of today's session. We'll meet again next week after next week's coming. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.